welcome. Turkish Film's Daily Chess Analysis, Episode 24. This is a game that I played. I played like 3 games trying to make this video. The first one was super tragic. I was winning like almost the entire game, and then it was in time pressure at the end, and then lost. The second one was just weird opening, bad stuff. And then this is the third game, and I decided I was going to show it even though I lost, and it wasn't the highest quality game. I played 85.2%. My opponent played 91%. And you can see I was doing well. Here at some point I was winning by like 3, and then I gave it away, and then he drew at some point, but I didn't accept the draw. We'll see. So the game was d4, knight f6, c4. He played e6. I'm super used to this position. And I don't normally play knight f3. Normally I play g3 here. I don't know why I played knight f3. They're kind of similar. After c6, I played g3. Yeah, the computer's like, you're playing Queen's Gambit stuff, do Queen's Gambit stuff. But I decided to go back into Kd1 waters. He played g6, which is very odd for Kd1s that I've played. His bishop sometimes comes out and gives me a check and then returns back to e7. But I haven't normally seen this happen. Okay, bishop g7 makes sense, and castles make sense. So this bishop is trying to be a monster, but you can see that he set up all his pawns on this diagonal, so maybe it's going to be difficult for that to happen. What I have is my queen's defending e4, so if I can develop my knight often to d2, then I can launch e4, and I can open the center in my favor. He played castles. I played knight b to d2. It says that I should have got my bishop out first, and I definitely agree with that. I was debating between putting it on b2 to challenge his bishop, but I think by challenging his bishop and wasting this time, I'm actually kind of justifying his decision. And so by playing bishop f4, I'm just saying, your bishop's in the wrong spot. This is the more important diagonal. Okay, he played b6. And in a lot of positions, not ones in which he's, fianchettoed. When they play b6, obviously they're trying to get their bishop into the game. And the only way they can do that to challenge my bishop is if they remove these pawns. And so I've seen in a few games that rook d1 is common after b6, because if he wants to make his bishop good, he has to remove these pawns, and by doing that, he makes my rook good. That's why I played this move. But e4 is better because that's immediately why I played knight b to d2, and it means that I have less time for my bishop to be trapped here on c1. Bishop e7 makes a lot of sense, and now I played e4. I should have played it a move earlier. This is kind of somewhat forcing. You can see if he just plays some random other move, then it's very natural to just push. And that bishop's just closed out of the game, and this bishop is also very sad. I've just basically closed the center, and I have more space. Also, it's not clear where this knight's headed, like where's his future, and I still have a lot of opportunities to develop, and I still even have opportunities to disrupt his center more. And with this fianchetto structure, I can play h4, h5. I can also play f4, f5. So all of my attack is going this way, and his defense looks a little bit scarce at the moment. Okay. But after playing e4, de4, knight e4, and he played knight b to d7. I was expecting c5, just hacks away at the center, and finally lets this bishop breathe. Now in this position, I was still having a crisis over my c1 bishop, and decided to play b3 and put my bishop here, neglecting to see that normally people just take this knight, and after my queen takes, they maneuver their other knight to this square. Obviously, by playing knight b to d7, he's blocking the queen's protection of d6, and my knight would be very happy to live on that square, attacking this bishop. And if I get to take it, then my bishop rules the diagonal, and I'm the only one with the light squared bishop. But I played b3, just missing this entirely. I really didn't see this. Knight e4, he probably saw that my knight could have gone to d6. Queen captures e4, and queen to c7. So in this position, he's defending his bishop so that he can play this move, which attacks my queen. And here, I was really trying to find a way to make a knight move work, because in a lot of lines, it's really crazy, actually. The queen and bishop end up ganging up on this bishop, which is kind of funny to have the queen be in front. So I was trying to find a knight move that would work. I was having a hard time, and so I played bishop f4, attacking the queen. But as you can see, the computer wants me to move my knight, And I looked at this and tried to make this work, but I just thought it was just losing a pawn, and so I couldn't figure it out. After knight captures e5, the move now is bishop f4, pinning that knight to the queen. That's really complicated stuff. Rook a to d8. And now I take it. He takes, and now I can take back. That's really wild to me. I never would even thought of this. I assumed that if I go here and he takes it, that I gotta take back. And it's the whole move order thing. So after here, now we go here. We're not worried about check and queen takes because he lost the piece to begin with. Yeah. I never would have done this. It's like I'm temporarily going down a piece because it looks like a piece sacrifice. You play knight to e5. He takes it, and you don't take back. So I'm down a piece for a move. But it's okay. I'm pinning this to the queen so I can take back with the pawn if I need to. That's really crazy. I wouldn't have played that. But I had a similar idea with bishop f4. Attacking the queen. Just I should have put my knight there first. Very confusing. He played queen to c8. Yeah, I also expected c5 still. I didn't move my knight, so he can very well attack my queen now. And now I played knight e5. So you can see I got the same moves in, just in a different order. Yeah, he moved his rook. And at this point, he's getting off the diagonal, and he's defending the bishop again. So that way I can't take it now. So c5 is back on the cards. We're basically fighting over whether or not he can play c5 and liberate this bishop and make this bishop look a little bit sad. And so I keep playing moves that are supposed to indicate you can't do that. And he's playing moves that are saying, no, I can play that. In this position, I played knight captures d7, which frees the attack of this on here. He played queen captures d7. I was trying to figure out what happens after c5. After c5, I just played queen to e3. And your rooks, and this is still attacked. Everything's still attacked, the same as it was before. Okay. Which is what I'd calculated. I just calculated that I was going to go all the way back. I don't think it really makes a difference. I've taken a piece, and your rook's attacked. So if you save your rook, I save my knight. If you take my knight, I take your rook. So everything's good. That's just a tactic, which is why rook b8 doesn't work. Because while it does step off this diagonal, it steps on this diagonal. So I'm able to take it. Knight captures d7. Attacking this and forking the rooks. Queen captures d7. Bishop captures b8. Rook captures b8. And I was happy in this position. I think I even said in the video, great, I'm up the exchange. Now all I have to do is just not blunder the exchange. And I'll be fine. I'm +2 in this position. So I played queen f4, hopping off this diagonal. Rook to d8, ganging up on this pawn. Hard to defend. And I played rook a to c8. Very confusing. Computer wants me to play bishop to f3. I'm trying to figure out why. If I play bishop captures f3, so this is attacked. Oh yeah, he can't actually take here really, because there's pins and stuff. But I'm trying to figure out what's the problem with rook ac8 or rook ac1. Now if bishop captures d4, now if we play queen e4, I'm kind of confused. I looked at this actually before, but I don't remember why this move was so good. I'm trying to figure out what it does. So you're defending it with the queen instead of with the king. So let's say I play bishop f3, and he plays a random move. Now I can play c5. Okay? If I play rook ac1 and he plays a random move, I can't still play c5, can I? Okay, now I have to switch plans to d5. Kind of peculiar. I don't understand why this is good. I was getting off this diagonal here, but there's more useful moves, apparently. Bishop f3. Bishop f3 does an important thing of defending the rook. There's opportunities for him maybe to have taken here twice and gotten 2 rooks for the queen. Okay, he takes. And I decided to try double rooks to attack this bishop. c5, defending the bishop. I take, he takes, and I double rooks against this guy here. Queen to e7. I brought my queen back. I didn't want to lose it. He played e5. I played king f1. So I lost all the advantage that I had before with my rook a to c1 move. I had more important things to do, like bishop f3. Okay, he played f5. I played h3. Okay, he played e4. I put my queen on g2. Ooh, that was kind of scary. Like, bishop here would be attacking. I mean, I would take here, but I don't know. He played e3, which is a major blunder because of rook e2, pinning that guy. And I can take this, and you can't take back because this rook hangs in the end. Just to show you the example. If here, okay, and if you play some random move, then I can take this. And the idea is that if you take here, then I take here with check. You should probably take that. And then that guy hangs at the end. And this is just super duper winning. So that's a blunder. I didn't notice that it was a blunder, and so I just took it. And after he takes with the queen, I have kind of a lot of issues here. He's just kind of bearing down on my position quite heavily. It still apparently says that I'm okay, just because f3 was so bad. Or sorry, e3 was so bad, but fe3 was not the proper continuation. So rook to e2, I'm kicking him out. Queen g5. And I doubled on the second rank because I was scared. But rook to d1 was better. Trying to do this kind of stuff. And then I can check him from the back rank as well. That would have been a much better plan. Rook f8. And I blended the exchange. Bishop c3. Takes. And now he's just better. We can see it's the same amount of pawns on the queen side. He has an extra pawn on the king side. He's also lined up and has like checks that he wants to give me. So king c2 gets rid of those checks. Rook e8, not a great move. Queen d5 check. I wanted to play this move first, but I was just worried again. Also, I was running out of time here. And that's kind of a problem with a lot of these games. I'm just running out of time. I traded rooks, which was no good. And this is just a lost king and pawn endgame. He did blunder, but it doesn't really change much. I said, hey, I have an outside passed pawn. That's pretty great. And he just was like, I'm just going to go take that. And there was one final point when he blundered, which is when he played g4 instead of taking the pawn. This is now a draw. I didn't have time to calculate this, but if I push this pawn, it becomes a draw. And the reason is really funny. So I decided to chase after this pawn because that looks like a queen. I should probably stop that. So I chase after it. I take that guy, but now my king's too far away, and I can't stop the other pawn in time. So that's the idea of having two pawns, two passed pawns. If you catch one, you probably can't catch them both. In this position, if I had played f5 and don't even try to catch him, you can see that he queens, which is scary and all, but I actually queen with check. After the king moves, I can take this pawn if I want, and queen versus queen is just a draw. So there's nothing here. We can just keep moving back and forth forever. Doesn't matter. He'd probably still win because I was so low on time. But yeah, queen versus queen is just a draw. Either he can try to do something funny, but whenever he makes a move that isn't check, I'm going to keep checking him until I find a check that attacks his queen and king at the same time. And then he'll have to trade. So that was my last chance to draw the game, was playing f5, letting us both queen, but then I win the pawn with check at the end. Yeah, so kind of a crazy game, that one. We can see here that I had the advantage at 2 points in the game. Really strong advantages some of these times, and then gave it all away. Also, I missed an opportunity to draw, and that led to my 85.2% score. I hope you guys liked the video. I hope you know your end games, so you know that f5 draws and every other move loses. And, as always, I hope that you stay Turkish. Good night.